so, and we'll tape the rudder on the counterbalance. Okay. Now all the surfaces are held perfectly flat there. Now we'll grab our pair of servos here, and the way I like to set it up is with obviously the horn up and the cable going forward. And we'll put on the outside horn for me. I like the lots of throw. We'll put away the regular CA for now, grab the foam safe. And we're going to place just a little bit of the CA on the servo itself. Around the corners, keeping it away from the output shafts. And then we'll go ahead and lay it on the side of the airplane. As you can see, the rudder is straight and the horn is 90 degrees. That's just where we want it. And then I'll go ahead and squirt a little of the accelerator and it'll drip behind the servo and get to the glue and accelerate it. I'm going to come to the other side here. Do the same with the rudder. Again, you want the lead of the servo, pointing forward. And do it just like the elevator with the lead pointing forward. You put it for full aerobatics, put the Z-bend on the outside hole. Again, one in if you're a sport flyer. Again, put a little bit of glue on the servo. And we'll go ahead and mount it to the side. Again, the elevator is straight. Spray a little of the accelerator and let it drip behind there. Now that we have the elevator and the rudder servo mounted, now that the rudder and the elevator servo are mounted on the airplane, we're going to take our little packet here of 040 by 6-inch long carbon rods, and we'll pull the tape off of those, and we're going to get our sandpaper out and we're going to sand the edges a little bit sharp. We'll get all this tape removed, and there's 8 of these guys here. And you can do this either one at a time, or I'll take all 8 of them, put them together like so with my sandpaper, and then at about a 45-degree angle or so, I'll roll these in my thumb as I'm sanding away from myself, and it'll put a little bit of a sharpened edge on that carbon. A couple of them fell out. It may be easier for you to do them one at a time. It only takes just a couple swipes and you can really see sharpens them up well. Just a couple swipes with the 100 grit. Just a couple good ones there. Alright, now that we got these all sharpened up, what we're going to do is we're going to start by poking this carbon right into the corner of the trailing edge of the wing and the outside of the fuselage cross brace. We're just going to poke it in about 1 millimeter or 2, and we're going to bring that carbon up to the fuselage side here, and we're going to make a little mark where it's going to mount, and it's about 1/4 inch down from the bottom of the fuselage, about 1/4 inch down, and there's a small mark there. From that mark we're going to come in toward this point, about 3 or 4 millimeters, and then we're going to poke that carbon into the foam right there. And we're going to push it in, you know, a good 1/8 of an inch. And now we're going to put it back into the original hole up here at the wing, push it back in a little bit, and we're going to roll this thing with our fingers. Now it's poked into both sides with no friction. And we're going to do it on the other side, and we're going to work our way back all the way to the tail. Again, that's threaded in there. It's poked into both sides. Don't put any glue on it. And then we're going to come in right next to where it was poked in here, right behind it. We'll poke the next carbon rod in there. And it's going to come down to about 1/8 of an inch from the outside edge of the fuselage cross brace here. It may have to come inside the push rod, it may have to go outside the push rod. You're going to have to kind of play with it a little bit. You may have to move the carbon in or so from the side so that it doesn't interfere too much with the carbon push rod. They can touch each other, you just don't want too much interference. And we're going to do that on both sides all the way back. Come into this one. Again, poke it right next to where it last went in. And then the last one's going to poke into the fuselage, and then it's going to come out to the elevator. Wherever it meets the elevator, that's where it's going to poke in at. Like so. And we're going to come, it looks like about a 1/2 inch back. More or less is okay. Now all of these pieces of carbon are in there without any glue. They're just nice and soft in there. You can see from the back all the way up to the front. Just like so. And that's how you do the carbon structure on the fuselage support. Really quite easy, goes together fast, and it makes an incredibly rigid fuselage. And that's why it's on this box. I want to be able to get down behind the airplane, and I'm looking that the elevator is parallel to the wing. The boxes are going to hold the wing parallel, and we may have to tweak on it just a little bit. It's okay. This side's down a little bit, about a 1/2 inch in fact, but it moves easily. Now what we're going to do with our Foam Safe CA is we're just going to put a drop on right here at the front at the wing, here on the cross brace only, and then at the tail. We're not going to glue these areas yet. We're just going to glue the bottom, what I say, where gravity is going to let the glue stay on the carbon. And here. Don't worry about if it's straight right now. Let that set up pretty good. Make sure you use plenty of super glue on that to keep it straight. Now is when I really get down low on the airplane, and I may use some pieces of wood or just anything I can find to help chuck the tail straight, or I may just hold it with my finger, and then glue one of these up here on the fuselage side, one at a time. It needs to go that way a little bit, so I'll put that pressure on it. A couple drops here, not a lot. You don't want it running on you. Get down and look at it. It's already much straighter just with those couple of drops, and it's holding. Look at that, it's holding straight now, and it's only glued on that side.